why won't your favorite anime get the reboot that it deserves? And when it comes to Gantz, a show as brutal and twisted as its fanbase is loyal, the answer isn't just what's on the screen. We're talking financial nightmares, market obstacles, and creative hurdles that make Gantz Reboot more of a pipe dream than a reality. Let's get into the real reason why Gantz, for all its cult status, is stuck in the past. I still remember the first time I stumbled upon Gantz. It was at a HMV in London, a point in my life where I was diving headfirst into more violent anime, the mature side of anime, and Gantz looked like it was right up my alley. I picked it up, paid with my own money, yeah, and I took it home, not knowing I was about to dive into one of the most gripping and visceral experiences of my life. From the very first episode, Gantz was unlike anything I'd seen before. It wasn't just the gore, it was the constant feeling of dread, the uncertainty of who would survive each mission. I remember thinking for the first time in a long time that I genuinely didn't know which of the heroes would make it. It was bleak, terrifying, and exhilarating at all the same time. And while I loved every moment, I also understood why it wasn't for everyone. I once recommended it to a friend and he absolutely hated it. He couldn't handle the darkness, and that was what makes Gantz special. It's not for everyone, but it's for those who connect with it. It leaves an unforgettable mark on you. For those who haven't dipped into the madness, here's a quick and dirty on Gantz. Created by Hiroya Oku, Gantz follows Kei Kurono, Masaru Kato, who find themselves trapped in a deadly game after dying in a train accident. They're forced into missions to hunt down aliens in a world that's as unforgiving as it is morally bankrupt. Gantz isn't just about gore and guts, it's a psychological mind game that forces you to question everything, from human nature to the value of life itself. It's raw, unapologetic, and unlike anything else on the market. Let's talk numbers, but not just the ones that you see on the balance sheets, because the story of Gantz's struggle isn't about hard figures alone, it's about market dynamics that no one wants to talk about. Now, Gantz might have a fiercely dedicated fan base, but it's just not the kind of series that screams commercial viability. Studios aren't lining up to fund projects that can't guarantee them a return, and Gantz's appeal, while passionate, isn't big enough to justify the gamble. Unlike juggernauts that rake in the cash for merchandise, Gantz just doesn't lend itself to action figures, plushies that fill shelves and shopping carts. We don't need exact sales figures to know that Gantz's merchandise isn't the first thing that you see at conventions or online stores. The explicit content and mature themes limit its marketability. No lunchboxes or kid-friendly toys here. Instead, Gantz remains a niche within a niche, something that resonates deeply with its core audience, but doesn't translate into broad cross-generational appeal that keeps other franchises alive. Studios know that, and it's a major blow in why Gantz struggles to secure the backing that it needs. Another angle that's often overlooked is the decline of physical media. Now, Gantz thrived in the DVD era as collectors would pay a premium for uncensored versions, but in today's world dominated by streaming, that revenue stream has dwindled, making it even harder for niche shows to turn a profit. With the shift towards digital, shows like Gantz can't bank on collectors' market the way they once did in the past. One of the biggest hurdles for Gantz is its content. Now, Gantz doesn't just push the envelope, it absolutely rips it apart. Its raw and graphic storytelling doesn't fit into neat boxes that broadcasters prefer. Censorship is a constant barrier, as many of Gantz's most iconic scenes are simply too extreme for mainstream TV or even something streaming services would like to show. This severely limits where and how Gantz can be shown. The issue isn't just about airing the series, it's about retaining the essence of what makes Gantz unique. When toned down for censorship, Gantz loses its impact, stripping away its gritty realism that draws the fans in. Even with the uncensored DVD releases, the lack of mainstream accessibility keeps Gantz boxed in the corner. appealing only to those willing to seek it out. Now, in the anime world, accessibility often dictates success, and Gantz finds itself at odds with industry standards. Now, Hiroyoku isn't just your typical creator looking for more screen time for his work. He's really protective, fiercely so, of the Gantz legacy. Past adaptations, both anime and live action, didn't sit well with him, and he openly spoke of his skepticism of any future reboots. Oku's stance is simple: if it doesn't capture the soul of Gantz, it's not worth doing. Without Oku's full backing, any reboot faces an uphill battle. The creative compromises necessary to make Gantz fit broader market tastes are exactly what Oku wants to avoid. He's not interested in watered down version that loses the philosophical depth and the social commentary that makes Gantz stand out. It's a standoff between creative integrity and marketability that keeps Gantz on the sidelines. In a crowded industry where every production slot is a potential goldmine, Gantz doesn't just compete with other anime, it competes with market-friendly hits that dominate studio priorities. The landscape is packed, and studios allocate their resources to projects with the broadest appeal and the highest chances of commercial success. That's not Gantz. It's a tough sell in a field dominated by safer, more universally appealing bets. Let's not ignore the fans. Now, Gantz's community is vocal, passionate, and constantly driving the conversation. But here's the kicker: all the online love in the world doesn't change the financial calculus. Studios are swayed by engagement metrics, sure, but they're swayed more by what those metrics can be turned into. And with Gantz, the line between passion and profit is as murky as the series itself. Online enthusiasm doesn't pay the bills, and Gantz's fanbase is dedicated, but dedication doesn't always translate into dollars. The harsh truth is, studios can't survive on love alone. They need the numbers that work, and for Gantz, those numbers just don't align with the industry's bottom line. There's still a sliver of hope: a multiverse approach. Expanding Gantz into side stories, alternate timelines, or spin-offs could breathe new life into the franchise without trying to reinvent the wheel. It's an approach that's worked wonders for other franchises, letting them explore new angles while maintaining their core identity. But make no mistake, even this is a gamble. It requires financial backing, creative alignment, and studios ready to take on Gantz's unique challenges. Until then, Gantz remains in its own niche, celebrated by those who know but unlikely to break out of its cult classic status anytime soon. Gantz is more than an anime. It's a visceral experience that refuses to conform. For those of us who felt its dread, the thrill, the unfiltered chaos, it's a series that's left an indelible mark. It's flawed, messy, and absolutely unforgettable. And maybe that's enough. Gantz may never get the reboot that it deserves, but it doesn't need one to keep haunting us, reminding us that sometimes the most impactful stories are the ones that never get neatly tied up. If you're a fan of anime that pushes boundaries, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Fancy Finance, and let us know in the comments what show that you think deserves a second chance. Your support keeps the channel going, so join us as we continue diving into the untold economics of your favorite fantasy worlds. And don't forget to check out the Patreon for the stuff that we truly can't discuss on YouTube. Thank you very much. Bye.